Every generation has their challenges. And in 2011, the big challenge facing all of us, working class, poor people, is the banks. We're talking about an institution that in 2008 was telling the world that they needed to be bailed out. They said, if you don't bail us out, the entire economy is going to collapse. So we did. And then the American people needed some bailing out. They didn't need billions of dollars. American people just needed maybe a little break on, maybe being late for a payment. They didn't need to be fined. Maybe they needed an extra loan so they can get their business jump-started. Maybe they needed a cut on the credit card rate. Did the banks help out? No. What they did was they started feeing and fining everybody. They started penalizing you for being maybe just a day late on a payment. Started jacking up your credit if you couldn't meet the minimum requirements. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the banks have collapsed the American economy and collapsed the global economy, and then they want to come after working class and poor people even more. Well, a lot of folks all around the world have had enough. You've seen strikes in Greece. You've seen outrage in London. You've seen people on the uprise in places like Spain, and now you're seeing folks all over the United States occupying Wall Street. We're talking about people are occupying the financial institutions of this country and demanding that there be some redress and that issues that we all have as our main concern be turned around. Right now, we're going to let you know what's going on in the Bay Area. Ground zero is right here in San Francisco. Let's take it away. Occupy San Francisco.
If you keep a population at a certain level of education, they will not challenge the powers that be, and they will not challenge what's going on. They will not challenge why we're going to war and why our education is bad.
So we're here to tell Goldman Sachs, San Francisco, Oakland, Bay Area is not a Tea Party town.
There's a lot of groups out here. I've seen some union folks. I've seen some libertarian folks, I've seen conservative folks, I don't even know everybody's political affiliation, but the one thing that everybody has in common today is that they found out that there was going to be a protest in San Francisco against the big banks, against the corporations, and we've all come out here and decided to make our voices heard.
If I was to tell a kid, hey, you see this homeless person right here, the kid will say yes. You see this man in a suit that works at Bank of America, they'll say yes. And then I'll ask that kid, hey, if you had millions and billions and trillions of dollars, who would you give it to? The homeless person or the banker? The kid will automatically say the homeless person because they have empathy. These bankers, they don't have an ounce of empathy. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all of these banks are all connected. They don't have an ounce of empathy in them, and they will charge everything they can to take every penny out of your pocket. If they could take the lint out of your pocket, they would.
Because we all know somebody who's affected by this crisis. Whether it's your neighbor in a foreclosure, whether it's your family member who is unemployed, whether it's you who is underpaid and overworked, we're here because we're tired of this, and we want to see a new, just society where our people are treated right and the banks are accountable.
Yeah. Basically, the essence of the matter is the fact that big banks are taking from the poor people and they're giving it to themselves. And not necessarily even the poor anymore, it's the middle class. You know, there's a lot of middle class folks out here. I mean, the numbers are dwindling and the money is being siphoned into the big banks, into the corporations while people are losing their jobs and their pensions, and people are, less and less certain every day, about their futures, while the corporations seem to be more and more sure about future profits.
We expected that Main Street, that 3rd Street, that Mission Street, that 24th Street would get some aid from a bailout, but that's not the case. They took our dollars, they pocketed our dollars, they gave it to their CEOs and their board of directors, and it's gone somewhere far away. And here we are, struggling, our economy in shambles, joblessness, homelessness in San Francisco, and we need to fight back.
They scare us into believing that there's a problem in order so we can give them our freedoms. They scare us into these issues. So we have a lot of things working against us. But I tell you what, these people right here, And the people all over the country that are gathering and occupying Wall Street and Portland and Atlanta and in Texas and Chicago, all those people together are starting to wake up, and we're starting to realize that we're not going to sit around and let this happen anymore. We're going to utilize the power of the people and the power in numbers, and we're going to challenge that system.
Well, there you have it. That's just a taste. Occupy San Francisco is one of 1,000 cities all over the United States where people are occupying the space, reclaiming their rights, and pushing back on corporations, greedy corporations. And I just want to say one thing. Shame on the police. Shame on the police all around the United States who know that their rank and file are having their pensions come under fire thanks to the corporations and the banks. Yet they sided with the banks instead of siding with the people. That's a sellout move. And I think everybody around the country recognizes that. You sold us out. For anybody else who's not aggressively going after the banks, going after corporations, and making sure that they pull their own weight and that they stop leaning unfairly on the poor and working class, you're part of the problem. Be warned. An Occupy is coming to a town near you soon. And what are people looking for? They will vote people in who will hold these banks and these corporations accountable. They will vote those people out who are taking lobbying money. They're going to vote those people out who are repeating the rhetoric of the banks and of the corporations. They're going to vote those people out who are standing in the way of progress for all of us. It's 2011, and I'm going to tell you, greed is not good. I know there's some people on Wall Street that like to run that line, but it's not good. Final days are here. Peace out to everybody occupying space all across the land. Victory is ours. Peace.